was able to find all that stuff out, and I was like, oh my word, this is amazing. I love this. I love this system. I just like the look of this biome though. Like, just look at the way that they did the water and the biome. Oh, it looks amazing. And I'm pretty sure Terralith probably has many different like biomes that probably look way better than this though. But I'm just saying, like, just for something as simplistic as this, like very little trees, but all that looks amazing. I definitely need a faster flying mount. I don't think Rayquaza works. I think I tried that and I don't think Rayquaza actually worked, which is very sad. And if this actual server does actually change, does actually update to 1.21, I will be throwing in my Sancturia data pack. And it's kind of, and it was kind of funny when they actually updated it. So they updated Cobblemon, I think around Christmas. Was it Christmas exactly, or was it around Christmas? I can't remember. I can't remember when I looked at it, and it was like, I was like, wow, like I literally just finished building the server. I literally just finished making the server, and then all of a sudden, update, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Actually, wait, hold on a second. I might be able to figure that out, actually. Okay, I need to load you up. Yeah, they unfortunately use the same mod that my other one uses. I did message you about it, so let's see if I can. Might be a little bit forward up. All right, there we go. All right, let's see. The 15th of December is when I messaged. Is when I made the adventure server, because that's when I was trying to figure out what mods you need to be able to play it. I have two separate lists. The bare minimum, which is just so though you can be able to even go on the server itself. And the maximum, which is like every mod that it uses, pretty much, right? A vast ocean. Very nice. Yeah, so right now, the data pack that like I'm currently working on, that I'm trying to fix around specifically, is that I'm trying to fix two things right now, right? So one is that I'm trying to fix a system in which that I've placed specifically for, well, not specifically for Sancturia though, but just so that way though, like I originally made it for Sancturia though, but I figured I might as well share it with like anybody else that joins the server kind of thing. All it is that like you can input a trigger command and it will lock the storage that's in your hand, so that it requires a specific key. So the hand part works. If you watched one of the last, I think it's the Circa Craft episodes, I think, or one of the last two, I think, ones, I was showing off one of the functions that I was working on, which I think I called Lock Eyes. I changed the name to Lock Area because it made more sense. I think the reason why I changed Lock Eyes was because it was supposed to be like everyone that every like storage block you see, right? And I changed that because it didn't make sense to me. I'm just gonna go run around and stuff. Oh, by the way, you can't eat the berries in this mod. I find that kind of... I almost said suspicious, but it's not suspicious. It's more so just like, it's a shame, really. Like, I would have really loved to have that. There's Pallet Town. That's gotta be Pallet Town. There's no way that's not Pallet Town. Okay, so that's it. Okay. So why can't I zoom? I'll figure that out while I'm continuing to talk. So I changed that because I figured that would be a lot better specifically for us in particular because since I couldn't use lock eyes because it couldn't work, right? So I chose instead. Yeah, so I chose instead of us doing that to have something else there. I will do that. Okay, so since the other one has to do with inventory, there we go. Yeah. Yeah, so since the other one had to do with more inventory, so since it was more of an area, so how that one was supposed to work, I think I even showed it in there, is that it's not supposed to be like every time you see something, it's supposed to be like in an area. So how it's supposed to work is that it's supposed to go and lock any container that is within 5 blocks this direction, this direction, this direction, and this direction, this direction, and this direction. And pretty much all it's doing is it's going into like a cube-like area, going from corner to corner, and it is just like updating all those storages to require your special key. So what I'm trying to figure out, though, is that if there was a simple way of doing that, right? So that's the one thing I got to figure out, though, is that because it's now using 1,000 lines of code. Yes, it's using 1,000 lines. Well, 1332 lines of code now? That's a lot of code. And it's all simple, right? It's just adding data to a specific block, and all it's doing is it's adding the lock so that it requires the key that your data pack should actually have. And the issue that I'm having with the key part, because that's the other part about that's wrong, is that for the key itself, my issue. Sorry, I'm gonna make OBS go load up so I can actually see what I'm doing. Like the issue I'm having with the key is that when you use the trigger command to give yourself the key, the first time you use it, it gives you 2 keys instead of 1, which first of all, that's not what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to give you 1 key, not 2. So that was issue number 1. But like if you get rid of both keys and then you added 1, then you reuse the trigger command to give you the key, it would work. It would work. You would get the 1 key only. So that's what the issue was. So I'm trying to get that fixed up and ready to go, so that I can have everything all set and ready to go. So that though, like when we update to Minecraft 1.22 or whatever the version is, I will be good to go, and that'll be awesome. Because that is literally what I'm waiting for right now. It's just so that we can do it. Now, I believe, from what I was told, Minecraft has changed how lock works. So I'm trying to see if there actually is any real change to it. But it doesn't look like they might have changed it to the way I want it, though. So how it's supposed to work, and I'll just use it, and I'll just do it here because it'll just make more sense if I just do it here. Okay, let's go to the Pokemart first before we do anything. It'll be easier once I get there. Okay. Hi, do you have anything? Ooh, that's a pretty nice trade right there. And you also do that for Pokeballs too. And there's a GameCube back here, and then there's a Pokeball. All right, so here's what's supposed to happen, okay? So when you install it, what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to give you a specific tag. So this is what's supposed to happen when I install Sanctuary, okay? If I can actually spell right. So this is what's supposed to happen. Now, the cool thing is that for the Sanctuaria data pack, I have it so though it loads what my UUID is. If you don't know what a UUID is, it's a very unique ID system that everybody has a unique one. So pretty much how the data pack works is that when it's installed, you have to put your UUID when you actually look it up. There is supposed to be a command. I have to write it down somewhere. I have to write it down, put it in the data packs. Although anybody who needs like the UUID for their specific person, they just type in, they just copy paste the code, done. They copy paste the ID, the end, right? So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to change that UUID to whatever it is. And then what it's supposed to do is that when you install it, it's supposed to give the person with that UUID this tag. Now, what I have a feeling what's happening is that either it's mistiming on how it's supposed to work or something else. But the thing that doesn't make sense, though, is that it has to be either mistiming or something's wrong with that line, because when you log in, it's supposed to inform you, do you want to teleport to your what do you call it? Do you want to teleport to your dimension, right? And that part is working perfectly fine. So obviously something's working about the UUID, but I have a feeling though that it's missing timing on when to add the tag to the person. So what's supposed to happen is this, okay? So you now have a tag. That's what's supposed to happen. So if I go and let's say /tag, and then you can go with whatever your person is and list, you will see that I have the Sanctuaria owner tag. Okay, this is what I want to do from my storages. So when you walk around, let's say I would like to, actually the village might be a better idea because they actually have storages. I kind of hope they did, but they don't. They don't have storages. Anyway. So let's go back to the village and I'll show you what I mean. Now, they are looter chests, so ignore that part, but like, just think of it as a normal chest, right? Or a normal barrel even. So let's say this is my house. I would like to, let's say, lock this chest. So I would go with like /trigger lock. Like I would enter like the lock thing, right? So I would go like lock _ hand, let's say. And then this would be lock area technically. So let's go with like lock area. Obviously there's nothing there, right? But what the idea is that, or what my idea was that for us to be able to access this chest now, you would require this tag on your person in order to access it. Which would be amazing because then it's like the ultimate form of defense, right? So like if somebody goes, heh, this guy I know has like a ton of diamonds, let's go and access his chest. What? I can't access it. It's locked. And it's like, okay, he's got to have a key somewhere that like anybody can access, right? And they look everywhere, they can't find that key. And they go, what's going on here, right? And it's like, nope, you just don't have the tag that specifically mentions that you are the owner of the dimension. And that's pretty cool. And obviously what I want to do for the lock, though, is that, like, what I will eventually do is that I'm going to change the way that the lock works, so that way, though, you can only use it in your custom dimension. It won't work anywhere else. Now, this is going to be what's going to be very interesting about this part, okay? So if anybody were to, let's say, build, let's say I built this Pokemart in my custom dimension, and it's within the 32 by 32 blocks, right? And I want to move it from my dimension over to over to like the overworld kind of thing. And I proceed to do that, and it works, right? Like I'm able to bring it over to the overworld and go, wow, I have my home here now, right? Does that mean, though, that those chests will no longer have the tag? Like, that lock? No. You can still do that. The only thing is that, like, you can't just go, oh, I'm just going to go grab every, like, loot chest kind of thing, because we do play vanilla on the ServerCraft server, right? So, obviously, I don't want you to just go run around, go lock every chest that you see, because that wouldn't be very fair, right? Because then you would be able to go to, as I was, like, mentioning earlier, though, like, you can't just go to every end city, lock every chest, so that way nobody can get that sweet endgame loot, right? That's not fair. That's not fair to a person who literally just worked their way to the end and wants to go and do all that stuff, right? So yeah, so this is like the Professor Oak's area. So as you can see, like this is the quartz bricks. These are end stone bricks. I'm not saying I didn't like it though, but I felt like it was too endgame looking. Like obviously end stone makes sense to the end, right? So I figured that like I might as well change this to something that looks close to it. So I chose, I think it's stripped birch, and I chose to have it in a specific ways because it looked a lot better. And I have to admit though, like I was right. It looks way better. And the same thing with like the quartz stuff too. Like I changed it from these quartz bricks to the quartz pillars. And I will say this though, it does